So let us start with the distribution is and how we are going to find it out. What are the other related things? If we talk about binomial distribution, then bi means true. Here I have just shown with the help of a cycle that we know bicycle. Why it is named as bicycle. Similarly, here binomial distribution means we are dealing with the two outputs. We have learned that the outcome can be a success or a failure. And we have denoted if we are getting a success, the probability of success is denoted by P, and the probability of failure is given by 1 minus P, which is represented by Q. Here I have given an example that if we toss a coin, then we can get a head or a tail, and we know that the probability of getting a head or a tail is half and half. So what we are looking for, according to them, we can call it as a success or a failure. That we have already learned what are the assumptions of the binomial distribution on which we can solve the question. So here we have learned that it has a fixed number of trials, finite number of trials. Second condition is the trials must be independent. Each trial must have have an outcome that can be classified as a success or a failure. Right? So these things we have discussed. And one of the most important thing is that the probability of success remains the same in all trials. Means the trials are independent of each other. Whatever the outcome I am getting in one trial is not affecting the outcome in the next trial. Correct? So this is what we have discussed. This is the formula we have talked about, that if we have total n independent trials, P is the probability of success, Q is the probability of failure, then how we can write down the probability of happening of our success out of n is given by NCR PRQN minus R. Correct? This is the formula that we have learned, and as I discussed, that there we have taken small x NCX PXQ n minus x, and we have said that x varies from 0 to n. Correct? One more thing that we have discussed on that day is that we have capital N that was not written over there, and I told you that when I will show you my own slides, then capital N is also there. Now, what is capital N here? Capital N means if I have performed some experiment, then how many times the experiment is being repeated. Correct? So that is our capital N, and when I am calculating the probability by binomial distribution, that will also come into the picture. Correct? So here we have the same formula multiplied with the capital N. I will show you the example that when capital N will come into the picture. And one more thing that you can note down is that N and P, because when we are working with the binomial distribution, we are focusing more upon N and P. So these two are known as the parameters of the binomial distribution. Correct? So this is the thing that you have to learn, that what are the parameters of binomial distribution, means on which things it depends. It depends upon n and p value. Correct? We have already learned all this. Mean is np, variance is npq, and the standard deviation is given by under root of npq, where all the things have their own meaning. Correct? This is the same thing that we have discussed. Now let us try with the MCQs. As I have discussed over there, that with some of the knowledge regarding the binomial distribution that we have learned, it is possible to give a lot of MCQs. Correct? So let's discuss. Here we have the first, nature of the binomial random variable is. Write down your answers. What is the nature of the binomial random variable? It's quantitative, qualitative, discrete, or continuous. Which option is correct? Please write down in the chat box. And you have to be fast, as already we have utilized near about 40 minutes for the attendance and the discussion. So it's time to speed up our work so that a lot of discussion and at least binomial distribution can be covered for the today's topic. Correct? This is up to me. Now let's see how much responses you are giving. Write down the answer, please. Binomial random variable is of which type? Quantitative, qualitative? I think we have never discussed about this. Two options are left, discrete or continuous. Yes, write it down. All of you are listening or not? Shubham, Himanshu, Afridi, Anwar, Vijay, beta, a lot of students are here. Please write down the
Yes,
answer.
ma'am. I am listening.
The answer. Ram is saying C. Let others see they are active or not. They are doing their home chores or listening to the lecture. Okay, now the answers are coming, and I think 3 to 4 students are giving me the answer, and they're saying discrete. Correct. It's discrete. We have started with the discussion that we have two type of random variable, discrete and continuous, and binomial distribution fall under the category of discrete one. Correct? Correct. Let's see the next one. In a binomial probability distribution, the sum of the probability of failure and probability of success is always right in the correct option. We are looking for the second one. Write on the answer of the second question. Okay, Dheeraj has written 1. 1 means the option D, correct? And Pritam is also saying it's option D. I think it's correct. We are talking about probability of failure and the probability of success. Probability of failure means Q and probability of success means P. And if we find out the sum, then P plus Q is always 1, correct? So the answer is correct. Correct. Uh, let's do the third one. In a binomial experiment, the successive trials are. I think we have focused more upon one of the things. Yes, Pritam is giving. They are independent. Correct. Let's see the other options. The next example. Yes. The first one is the parameters of the binomial distributions are. I think yesterday it was not there on the slides, but it is an important question. What are the parameters of binomial distributions? We have just learned. No? What are the parameters? Write down the answers.
Ma'am, I think they are NP and NPQ.
No.
Ma'am,
Parameters
then
we are talking.
ma'am, then N and P and Q.
Write on your option and once. It's not an exam, but at least write on only once. Afridi is saying C. No, it's not correct. Eunice is saying B. Eunice is correct. Eunice has given me the answer B. All others are saying D, C, A. It's A, I think. No, I was confused. It's A. The parameters that we have learned is the parameter of binomial distributions are always N and P. We are not taking Q into the picture because we know if P is known, then obviously Q means 1 minus P. Correct? So we take N and P as the parameter of the binomial distribution. Okay, let's go to the next one. The range of the binomial distribution. Here, what we have learned regarding the formula, there you have to focus on the formula. In the formula, what we have written, NCR, PRQ, and minus R. So, where the summation goes from? Okay, Farhan is giving me an answer. Ram, check your answers, please. Here we are talking about the range. Range, we are looking for the binomial distribution. It means if we are performing n trials, most of you are giving me the answer, I think 0 to 1. Huh? But 0 to 1 is not correct. Range is 0 to n. If we focus on the formula, let me show you back. Here you can see R. R is going from 0 to n. So the option is 0 to n. We are saying about range. So R means what the values of R can be there. So it is from 0 to n. Correct? Okay. Let's see the next one. Now we are talking about the mean and standard deviation of the
NP and NPQ.
correct NP and NPQ. NP is the mean and NPQ is the standard deviation. So you can see how many easy examples can be framed, easy MCQs can be framed from just the definition itself. You know, And the binomial distribution definition and whatever we have learned regarding the means, variance, and standard deviation. Okay, the next we have is again in a binomial experiment with three trials. We are performing something three times. We are saying the variable can take how many values. In a binomial experiment with three trials, the variable can take how many values?
Again, answer four values and three trials.
Most of you are saying two values. Option A. How it is possible? If it is regarding the last example, then the A option was correct. I think it was regarding the last. Now for this, the last one. Give me the answer. In a binomial experiment, if three trials are there, the variable means we are talking about R. Correct? Three trials are there means it is N. Now still some of you are saying A is option correct for the third one. We are talking about the last one. It's A option is not correct for this. It's not B also. Preetham and Rishida has written B option. B is also not correct.
Ma'am, it's C, I think. Ma'am, four
Hmm?
values. Four
It's C.
values.
Why it is C?
Ma'am,
When I'm
because
saying
ma'am,
it's not A, it's not B, then it is C.
no,
Is
ma'am,
it so?
ma'am, actually, because in a question, ma'am, ma'am,
Hmm?
your, ma'am, previous class, that there was a question, I think, ma'am, where trials were three and values it took was four, I think. Ma'am, 1 second.
Han is not me. Preetham is saying 3. Rishida is saying 3. The answer is correct. You take 4 values. Now, how it is 4 value? Let me tell
Ma'am,
you.
one.
I'm talking about 3 types. I have just shown you. Let me go back again. See here the slide. Here we are saying n trials. This means we are talking about the small n. If n is 3, then r will be from 0 to 3. It means r will having 0, 1, 2, and 3. How many total values? The total values
Ma'am,
become.
ma'am, in the ma'am coin toss, ma'am, there were three trials, and
That is
ma'am,
a
zero,
different.
1, 2, 3. Ma'am,
Correct.
four
We have
values.
that is regarding the particular question, but here we are saying just a
Ma'am,
general one.
I have used that logic, ma'am, in that this.
That is also okay. But here actually it is regarding R. Correct? If n is going for three trials we have done, then how many total possible values a variable can take? It can take either 0, 1, 2, or 3. Right? So total 4 values. Okay, let's go for the next set. Here we are saying the mean of binomial distribution depends upon. The first one is number of trials, probability of success, C is probability of failure, and the D is number of trials and probability of success. We are talking about mean. Here you have to consider the formula. What is the formula for the mean? You have to concentrate upon that. And from that, you will come to know that the mean depends upon which two things. Some of you are saying option A. Option A is not correct. Eunice is now saying option D. Yes, it's correct. Option D is correct because we know mean is equal to n into p for the binomial distribution. Means the mean depends upon n and p. N means the number of trials and p
Ma'am,
means the
D option.
probability of correct. D. Option D, number of trials and the probability of success. N and p. Correct. Let's see the next one. The variance depends upon. Again, we are saying
Yes.
number of
Ma'am,
trials,
P
probability
option.
of success. It is
NPQ. Ma'am,
D.
formula is NPQ.
Yes, the formula is NPQ. It means it depends upon N, P as well as Q. Correct? Okay, I think this is the last one. Correct? In the last example of this MCQ we are taking, which of the following is not a property of binomial experiment? We are talking about not a property. Now I need answers from all of you. This is the last MCQ you have to try. Pritam, you have written two answers. Make it correct. Which one to take? Yes. We have C. If we talk about successive
Ma'am,
trials are
successive trials are
dependent,
dependent.
it is not
Yes,
a
ma'am.
property because we have learned that they must be independent.
Independent. Yes, ma'am.
They must be independent. So here it is written wrongly. So we can say it is not the property of the binomial experiment. चलिए. Now these are just some examples of the MCQs that can be asked from you from just learning the concept of the binomial distribution. Correct? So we have learned a lot of things till now. So you have to consider that which type of questions can be framed from the teachers and how easily they can be solved. Correct? They are not so hard. If you have done some of the efforts, we know it's very easy. Chale, let's go to the next concept. Already we have learned regarding the movements, where we have seen that we have calculated the expected values, and there we have seen that movements can be calculated with the help of expected value, the expectation. If we talk about the symbol we have used is capital E, and if we write down EX, so EX means expected value of X, and that is actually the mean. And if we talk about movement, so it is one of the first movement, we can say it is the first movement of the binomial distribution, or we can say any distribution. We can find out it is like Ex. Correct? Here actually we have calculated that how we can calculate Ex, the expected value or the mean. Here the whole expression we have. If we write down, we know that the formula is summation of XR into PR. Here XR means the random variable that can the values that the random variable can take, and PR is the probability. Correct? So if I have to write down, it is R0 to N, R into PR, and what is the probability? Probability we have is given by this formula NCR PRQ n minus R. Correct? Now if I take again, R is from 0 to N. Here we have written R as such. For NCR we have taken n factorial divided by R factorial into n minus R factorial, and this PRQ n minus R as such. Now here we have just simplified this in this form in order to take this NP outside, because we know that the mean of binomial distribution is NP. So here we want to showcase the same thing, that the first movement of the binomial distribution is actually mean, which is given by n into p. Correct? So if I simplify the inner part, you can go through using your pen and paper because it's not easy to describe and discuss here. But here what we have done is we have taken n factorial and written it as n into n minus 1 factorial. Then we have taken n outside. Similarly, in order to take this p outside, we have taken p outside, so it becomes pr minus 1. Then this q raised to power n minus r is written as n minus 1 minus r minus 1, because we have added and subtracted 1. So it is the same thing. Correct? In the denominator, if I discuss, then it is r and r factorial. R factorial has been simplified with this r because it can be written as r into r minus 1 factorial. So if I cancel out r, it will give me only r minus 1 factorial in the denominator. And again, in order to make it valid, we have taken minus 1 and plus 1 in this and minus r factorial part. And after that, what we have done, we have just seen that this whole relation can be written as n minus 1 cr minus 1 e raised to power r minus 1 and q raised to power, here you can see this the difference n minus 1. If it is NCR, we are taking the difference as n minus r and putting in the power of q. Now if it is n minus 1 cr minus 1, we are taking the difference and again taking the power of q. Correct? And as we know, this whole expression can be written as q plus p raised to power n. So here we have written as q plus p raised to power n minus 1, and we know p plus q is always 1. So it leads to the value of np. Correct? When you do by your hand, it will be very clear to you how we are discussing it, because as I have seen in your syllabus and IP, they are focusing upon the movements and the movement generating function, so that's why I have added it. Correct? Otherwise, the PPT that I have already made was having just the formula. So I have added this snapshot from one of the books so that we can discuss here how actually to calculate it. Okay. Let's see the second one, ex square. Again, in the same way we have written that e of x square can be written as summation r. Okay, one more thing that you can see here, that here the summation also we have changed. Earlier we have r0 to n. Now we have r1 to n, because if we have r0, it becomes minus 1 factorial. Correct? So here we have changed the summation also so that we can get it in the summation form, in a compact form. So here we have the whole expression of ex square. Using the same logic, we have simplified and we have calculated and shown that it is given by n into n minus 1 p square plus np. This is the value of ex square. If you have already done, then the calculation of expectation in the last lecture, so it is very easy to done from the same concept. And as we have seen, what is the variance? We know variance is given by e of x square minus mu square. This is the formula we have learned now. So this is the same thing. If we take the value of this ex square minus ex whole square from the above expressions, we will get the variances npq. So this is the theory part. I know that it can be asked as such, but yes, if examiner will ask you that you have to show that the mean and the variance of the binomial distribution is NP and NPQ, then you have to go through it. Correct? So let's see what the next thing we have is. Here in the same way, I have not shown the calculation. The whole calculation is there in your ebook that I have uploaded. It was not easy to take the snapshot from there and add it here, so I have left the part. I have taken only the results. So you have to go from that book if possible. If you can understand it well, then it's fine. Otherwise, at least for mean and variance, you have to go for the proof that I have already uploaded. Correct? So these are the values of ex cube and ex4, the expected value of x cube and the expected value of x4. Okay, the next part that I want to discuss with you is regarding the central movements. What the central movement is, till now we have calculated the expected value of x raised to power r, and what we have named it, it is if it is e of x, we called it as mean, the first movement. E of x square, we called it as second movement. Similarly, ex cube, ex4. Correct? And what we have seen is that these are known as the movement about origin. Movement about origin. Okay, somebody is saying screen is not visible. Let me rejoin.
Is not visible, ma'am.
Okay, better just wait.
From 1 minute.
Okay, better let's. The screen I have not changed. I have just shown you regarding the movements, the central movements of the binomial distribution. Just a bit. Let me reconnect it. But I'm trying to rejoin it from the PC because my PC connection has not been done. Let me see if it is possible to join it again. Just wait. Till then, you can go through the PPT that you already have and let me know if you are getting doubts. Because today we have some of the MCQs that we have discussed till now, and now we are going to start with the theory part. And I know theory is not so easy, but yes, it is to be done. Okay, I'm going to connect. Let me know if it is visible. Is this screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. We're getting your screen like meet screen. Yes, yes, ma'am. Visible. It's visible.
Okay, it's just we are joining. So this is what I have shown you, that this is how we can write them. Means till now what we have learned is the movements about origin, correct? And now we are going to discuss that if we have to find out the movements about mean, that what is the formula? Then the formula is given by expected value of x minus mu raised to power k. Means till now if we have learned, we have done with expected value of x raised to power r, because there we have taken origin, so it is actually x minus 0 raised to power r, and we have taken the different values of r as 1 2 3 4, and we have calculated the movements, correct? Now what we are saying is that these are the central movement, and if we talk about the kth central movement, it is given by x minus tx, which is actually mu. It is x minus mu raised to power k and its expected value. This is known as the central movement in case of the binomial distribution. Okay. And when you will go through some of the books, when you open the set book, you will see that actually when we are discussing about the two movements, we have some of the thing that has been shown as a difference, that when we are talking about the central movement, it is represented by this mu k, and when we are talking about the movement about origin, they have shown it by a bar, that it can be represented if it is r. Let me write down r and k are just the symbols, so it is represented by mu r dash. Correct. So this is just a little change that we are taking for the movements about mean and movements about origin. And movement about mean are known as the central movements. Okay. And if we talk about what are the values, so here I have not discussed again. It was whole proofs, if you want to go for, is given in the book S.C. Gupta and Kapoor. Here I am just discussing what are the values, because the values are of the most important thing. Proofs are rarely being asked, correct? So there is very less chance that somebody can ask you to derive these all values. We are going to do some of the questions to give you a glimpse that which type of question could be asked from all this knowledge. So here you have to learn this, that first movement is always 0. If we talk about the second movement about mean, it is given by NPQ. In the book it was given by like this, but what I have remembered is NPQ. And can you tell me what it actually is? This is actually the value of, what is the value? NPQ. In case of binomial distribution, it is the value of, yes, tell me, variance. Correct? This is the value of the variance that we have seen. Right? In binomial distribution, this is the value of the variance. Similarly, if we talk about mu3 is given by NPQ into 1 minus 2p. Mu4 is given by NPQ into 1 plus 3n minus 6 into PQ. So instead of minus q, it's better to go for q because it's easy to summarize and to work for it. So you can write down in your notebooks with us by taking
मैम
1
तो
minus
इसमें
p
मैम
is
फर्स्ट
q.
वाला मैम मीन है मैम ये म्यू वन है
Hmm.
मैम मेरे को एक चीज पूछनी थी मैम ये जो म्यू वन है मैम दिस म्यू वन इज मीन और मैम दिस म्यू वन इज वेरिएंस
Mu
और मैम
mu one is
सेकंड वन
variance.
इज वेरिएंस
Second one is variance. As you can see, the formula is the same thing, NPQ. You know? If we talk about the first movement, These are the movements. First movement, second
Okay.
movement. Second movement is variance. Na? If we talk about what is
Movements.
mu1,
Okay. Okay.
mu1
Okay.
is our expected value of x minus mu. This is what we have. And if I write it down now, what it is, let me show you how it's coming as 0. Here we have, if I open the expected values, what I can open it, I can write it down as expected value of x. And we know mean means it's a constant thing, x means a variable. Right? So expected value of mu means give me mu. And what is ex that we have already seen? It is also mu. Mu means the mean. So from there we are getting mu minus mu is giving me the value as 0. Is it clear? Is it clear, beta? Hmm? This is how we are getting. Means these all things are interconnected. If I am saying mu1 is 0, so how we are getting mu1 is 0? It is the expected value of x minus mu. And if I open it, it is ex minus mu. It gives me ex is also mu. As per our knowledge, you can see the last slides that we have seen that ex is representing the first movement about origin, which is actually the mean, and mu minus mu gives me 0. That's why it is 0. Similarly, you can derive all other things and you will come to know that how we are getting this npq and all this. But yes, you have to remember all the formulas. Correct? Let's see the next topic, because the most emphasized part in our syllabus that I have seen is that they are focusing upon the binomial distribution along with the movements and the movement generating function. So movements we have seen how we can calculate it about origin, and the central movements means the movements about mean. Now let us see how to calculate the movement generating function. Correct? Already we know what our movement generating function is in terms of the expected value. But here what we are going to do, we are going to do regarding the binomial distribution. So let's see how to do it. We know that the movement generating function is given by mxt, and it is actually given by expected value of, if I write down here, expected value of exponential e raised to power tx. If you remember, this is the function we have learned now. And if we see how to calculate it, then what we have to do, we have to take summation of this etx, because for this we are calculating the expected value. So it is etx into the probability function. Let me define it as fx. Probability density function or mass function. Accordingly, we are getting a random variable discrete or continuous. Okay? So this is what we have. So if we find out the probability mass function for binomial distribution to obtain the moment generating function, how we can write down? We can write down summation x from 0 to n. This is expected value of etx. It means it is etx into ncx px q n minus x. If I have to write down, because it is again time consuming to write down in this way. So what is the best form is etx as such, and we know what is our fx. Fx is our ncx p raised to power x and q raised to power n minus x. Correct? And if we see this p and etx, both are having the power of x, so I can write down this as p into et. Here you can see it's p into et with the power of x taking common, ncx as such, and this q raised to power n minus 1, n minus x, sorry, as such. Correct? So what we can see is that if I use the binomial formula, now here binomial formula means we are talking about the binomial theorem. If you know that how a binomial theorem will work, then this will lead to the definition of q plus et raised to power n. If you remember what a binomial formula is, we have x plus y raised to power n. It can be written as x raised to power n plus nc1 nc1 x raised to power n minus 1 into y plus nc2 x raised to power n minus 2 into y square. Hope so you remember. If you do not remember, then this is the formula, and we are getting the value of final value as y raised to power n. So this is the binomial theorem expansion, correct? So using that theorem, if we have this general term written as this, Pex raised to power x, sorry, Pet raised to power x, and Cx q raised to power n minus 6, then it can be written as such, q plus Pet raised to power n. And this is what we are getting the moment generating function for the binomial distribution. So you have to know how we are deriving it. We are deriving it from the expected value of ETX, the general term that we have learned. And the second thing is you must have to know what is the final answer. We are getting the moment generating function as q plus Pet raised to power n. So this is what you have to remember is the moment generating function. Now let's see how from moment generating function we are getting the moments. As we have already seen that the first moment is NP, the second moment is NPQ. Is it? No, not NPQ. The variance is NPQ. Sorry. So let's see how we have derived. In the chapter when we have learned the moment generating function, we have seen that if I find out the derivative of the moment generating function and take t is equal to 0, it will give me the first moment. And if you remember, we have done some of the examples also. Similarly, if I find out the second derivative and take t is equal to 0, then it will give me the second moment. So let's use that one and see how we can find out the mean and the variance. So this is our moment generating function, correct? If I find out the first derivative, it will give me, we are differentiating with respect to t. And t is a function with which respect to we are differentiating. So here it will give me, if this is with the power n, we know it's n, this whole raised to power n minus 1. We know the derivative of x raised to power n is nx n minus 1. No? So here if it is this function raised to power n, it is n, this whole raised to power n minus 1. And in between we have this function of t. So if I take the derivative with respect to t, it gives me p into et. Now if I take t as 0, on taking t as 0, this e raised to power 0 will become 1. So we will get np from here. In between, if I take e raised to power 0, it gives me 1 into p and plus q. And what is q? Q is by 1 minus p and plus p. Or we can say q plus p is directly 1. So from here, I can show that the first derivative of the moment generating function gives me np on differentiating moment generating function once and taking t is equal to 0. Correct? Similarly, if we go for the variance. So how we are going to find out the variance? We are going to find out the variance if I write down Ex square, means the second moment about origin, minus Ex whole square. This is how we have done earlier also. So here, in order to find out the second moment, what we have to do, we have to differentiate it twice. Here I have not shown you the whole derivation. You have to do it by yourself. This is regarding the first derivative. If first derivative is coming from here, m dash t, we have to differentiate it again. Take t is equal to 0. This will give you this, n into n minus 1 p square plus np. Correct? And if I want to find out the variance and want to verify whether the formulas are correct or not, so what I have to do, this Ex square minus Ex whole square. Here I have taken moment at 0, gives me the first moment, and this, sorry, the second moment, and this is the first moment whole square. So if I simplify the whole expression, taking m double dash 0 and m dash 0 whole square difference, it gives me this, which is actually np into q. Correct? So this is what we have as the variance, and variance we have calculated from moment generating function. Today now we have just small examples. Let me quickly go through it and stop the lecture. 5 minutes are left with. Here we have to just comment on the following. It is spelling mistake. It is the mean of a binomial distribution is 3 and variance is 4. We have to comment on it. So how we can comment on it? Mean is 3. Mean is 3 means I have n into p is equal to 3. correct? If we talk about variance, variance is 4. So what is given to us? NPQ. NPQ is given to us, which is 4, correct? And if I substitute what is NP here, then it will give me the value of Q is equal to 4 by 3. Now, can you comment on it? Is it correct? Is it not correct? What's happening? What it is? We are getting the Q value as 4 by 3. Is it possible? No, it's not possible, because if I divide it, I will get a value more than 1, which actually is not possible, because we know P plus Q is always 1. Correct? So this is how the questions can be asked. Let's do the next one. Okay, the solution is also there. We can go through it. The next is the mean and variance are 4 and 4 by 3, and we have to find out probability of x greater than 1. So what we have again, we can go for NP is 4, and we have NPQ is equal to 4 by 3. So this will give me, if I substitute NP here, it will give me Q as 1 by 3, and we are looking for the probability of x greater than 1. Now how to find out probability of x greater than 1? Something greater than 1 can be calculated, because if it is greater than 1, we do not know from where to where we have to go. So what I can go for, 1 minus probability of x less than equal to 1. Correct? We have to take the alternative one, the complement one. So it is 1 minus probability of x less than equal to 1. It means we know we have to go from 0 to 1, and it is NCR PR and Q raised to power n minus r. So we know what is the value of Q. From here you can calculate the value of P, correct? And if we know the value of P, this will lead me the value of N. So from here you can calculate P as well as N. When N, P, Q all are known to you, R is going from 0 to 1. You have to calculate this, and hence you have to subtract it from 1 to give the final answer. Correct? Okay. The last slide is this one. Here we have just an example. It is that if the moment generating function of the random variable is this, and x has a binomial distribution with this n and p, that is the probability mass function is given by this, then how you can find out the mean and the variance. Right? So this is just a solid example that you have to try. You have to go for it, that how we are getting these information, that what is your Q, what is your P. Okay, let me give you a hint. You have to focus upon this. We know what is your MT. We know the formula Q plus something raised to power n. So from there you have to see what is the value given to you. What is the value of n given to you? What is P and Q given to you? And from here you can calculate NP, the mean and the variance. It means just by looking at the moment generating function also, you can calculate the mean and the variance. Correct? So this is all from my side regarding the binomial distribution. In the next lecture, we are going to have the Poisson distribution. It is similar to the binomial distribution, but yes, some formulas are there that are changed. Some more examples we are going to do, because here we have already done the examples. So we have gone through on the theory parts. Correct? So you have to discuss with me if you are getting some doubts, and be sure to give me your mail addresses so that I can make an Excel file, share with you the assignment questions. And today is 26. In coming 2 days, I will discuss with you that when to submit the assignment,